still want the act, not the ghost. Whoa.
Well, hello and welcome back to the DC United Kingdom podcast. This is season 5, episode 7. And as always, I'm your host, James Graham. It's nice to be back here. I normally have my headphones on. I forgot to put them on. So let me just put those on, change the speakers, and we will be good to go. This week, we have a little bit of things to go through, shall we say. We have a couple of bits of news. We've got a match review, a match preview, and I've also got this week's press conference as well to show you guys, and for you guys who are listening, for you to have a little listen to as well. They had Wayne Rooney and Donovan Pines at this week's press conference. Some good bits that came out of that, and some good things to hear about this weekend's game as well. But yeah, we're gonna just get right into it, I think, this week. No dilly-dallying. Let me just get the news video. So we'll play the news theme. We'll get right into it. So yeah, this week's news. Just a couple of bits to go through, really. There was a big thing for Loudoun United this week. That local DC real estate executive has taken an ownership stake in Loudoun United. That is Jordan Stewart. You can find him on Instagram and all the social medias as well. Really good mates with Russell Knaus as well. But he's taken an ownership stake in Loudoun United, along with defensive lineman Yannick Ngakui. I apologize if that's I've pronounced your name completely incorrectly. I do apologize. MLB outfielder Tommy Pham and retired NBA champion Jeff Teague. So a bit of money there. Good for Loudoun. Good that there's some investment going in. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out for the rest of the year and moving forward, really. So there is that. But also, we have a little bit of a link with a former DCU player and the Chelsea job. As you know, that Chelsea have recently rehired one of their former managers in former New York City FC midfielder Frank Lampard. He's gone back to be caretaker until the end of the season, but former DCU player Marcelo Gallardo has been linked to the job once the season has finished. So there is that. Be interesting to see what happens there, whether he actually gets it. But he's been linked, as is probably everybody under the sun has been linked to that job, like maybe Sam Allardyce, for example, probably Neil Warnock. I'd imagine Thomas Tuchel is probably linked with it again. You know, if they go back to their old managers. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But otherwise, there is other bits of news, but it's more related to this weekend. There's been some good news about people coming back from injuries, some timelines as well. But I will go through the press conference after the match review. But yeah, that's about it for the news this week. So I'm just going to roll the theme again. So last weekend's game was against Columbus. We got beat 2-0, unfortunately. And if you watched it, you'll know the pain and the suffering that we've gone through in that game. And that's not just from the fact that we got beat, but the way that we got beat and the fact that it was kind of taken out of our own hands quite a bit, with thanks to the refereeing performance, which I'm in total agreement with Wayne Rooney on this one. It was an absolute shocker. Their penalty that they got given, incredibly soft. Yeah, you can't argue that there was contact. There was contact with there. Russell Knaus trod on the heel of Matan. The big thing that was really annoying about this one was the fact that there was the contact, but Matan then decided to go, yeah, I'm just going to take a couple of extra steps, and yeah, then I'm going to fall. And it was just like, right. So you fell. You had an opportunity to take a couple of steps, then you fell. Then you fell badly as well. It wasn't exactly a standard fall. Initially, the decision was no penalty. We went on the counter attack. Ended up with Benteke on. I think it was to Lewis O'Brien. O'Brien found Benteke down the right. Taxi was free in the far corner. Benteke played a beautiful ball in, and then Taxi tried to put it in back across the goal, which realistically it was the right thing to do, but didn't quite make a sweet enough connection, and the keeper managed to make the save. But yeah, I mean, based on that, if that goal had gone in, then I doubt we would have had it chalked off, because it would have then gone back to the penalty, and then we would have conceded it, and then it would have felt like a much bigger gut punch. So I'm kind of glad in that scenario that we didn't score, because that would have been really annoying. So yeah. However, that decision was just appalling for that. Then I didn't spot this live, but Rooney called it out after the game and in the press conference today as well, about their second goal and how that was offside. Which, yeah, really, really frustrating to see that. I'm just going to bring that up as well, because there was a tweet that came out in regards to that. So bear with me 2 seconds whilst I bring that particular tweet up. But yeah, it's annoying, because there was the ball came through. I think it was Ramirez who was offside by his literal foot. And it's just like, come on, it's just getting really frustrating now. The fact that we're getting so many decisions go against us, and it's just like, right, what else can we realistically do and not actually have all these things happen against us? So I'm getting frustrated by it. We know it's MLS refereeing. It's not exactly the best, shall we say? They can't keep doing these kind of mistakes. Right, I've got the thing up. So if you're watching on YouTube, or you're watching this after the fact, or through Spotify, or however you're watching, then you'll see this on screen. If you're not and you want to see it, then get onto YouTube, and you'll see the actual tweet coming up in just a moment. So what we'll see here is I will click on share, and I'm going to bring it up on screen right now. There we go. So what you'll see here is an image from when the ball was played and to the actual line for the offside. So this is what you'd normally, I mean, it's a much more basic version, but this is the kind of thing you'd see during VAR in the Premier League and pretty much everywhere else in the world that uses these. So you can see the ball's coming in. That is Donny Pines there. You got Jacob Bruggen and behind the player, and you can see Donny Pines' knee is here, and then you've got the foot, which is apparently 9 inches, 9.9 inches and an eighth of an inch offside. So yeah, really frustrating that that's happened there. I mean, like I said, I didn't see this being picked up straight away. I can see how it was missed, but the fact that they've come out and said that there was an offside to Wayne, and it's happened again. There's another decision that's gone against us. It's getting really frustrating now, and I want to see us have this look go in our favor rather than it going against us. So we can't do much about it now. We can only give the facts, and we can only emphasize the fact that this has happened and show that this is the case and things need to improve. And we just need it to improve. It's just getting beyond the joke now. So frustrating. But yeah, so we had that. On the flip side, the positive stuff from this game was the fact that we had quite a lot of opportunities, especially in the first half with Taxi. He had the opportunity to score a couple of goals. I just mentioned that counter attack there. He had a chance in the first half where it was kind of an open goal, so the keeper spilled it. It fell to Taxi. He then went to side foot it, and it went towards the back of the net, but it was cleared off the line by Sands, I think it was. Good clearance. Had to be there. If he wasn't, then yeah, we would have been 1-0 up. And I think there was another opportunity for Taxi where it was from a set piece. I'm sure it was a corner, but can't be for certain. The ball ends up with him on the edge of the box. He then has a go from range, got it on target, but it was another opportunity for him to score. Benteke had a couple of opportunities in the second half. So we're creating the chances, we're getting positive, but we're just not being clinical in any way, shape, or form, which is a massive, massive shame. So yeah, so we had that. But for me, when we decided to bring on Ruan and Jose in the second half, because the first half we were being outpossessed, like it was just ridiculous how much we were outpossessed. Very defensive, sat back a lot, and we just weren't really attacking a great deal. But then Ruan came on, Jose came on, Ruan especially came on, and was playing in the right mid position, and he looked fantastic. And I'm pleased that he's continuing in that role because he's not the best defensively, and I think that's fair to say. I don't think I'm being harsh on that. But he's great going forward. He's got pace. He's got the ability to put a good cross in, and he's doing well. He gets to the byline, he pulls it back, and I'm happy about that. That's his job, is to terrorize the wing, get the balls into the box, and someone just needs to get on the end of it. And he seems to be doing that. So I'm happy about that. So if we can continue that going this weekend, that'd be fantastic. But that was a good turning point in the second half, that we had that. We started creating a bit more as well. And we definitely looked like we were going to get something. We just unfortunately didn't. We just didn't have the ability to put the ball in the back of the net. And I think sometimes we're rushing out at the moment because we haven't scored. We haven't picked up points. I think we're starting to rush it a little bit, trying to get that first goal and then to go. So if anyone from the club is listening and they want to take an armchair tip or hints or my viewpoint, it's just to, in the attack, maybe it's just slow it down, work the ball into the box, create that easy opportunity rather than trying to force it to happen. Just work it in, work it up, play it around, get there, and then when the easy opportunity comes in, then you've got a much better chance of putting it in the back of the net. So, and then build it up from there. Then once we start getting the goals coming in, then we can start playing a bit quicker, then getting into the box, bump it in there, whatever we want to do, however we want to do it. I just think we just need to work it in, make it simple. It's the KISS method. It's the keep it simple, stupid. And just get that first goal and work it from there. Stats from the weekend: 44.4% possession to 55.6 in favor of Columbus. We had 14 attempts to goal to their 13. Both had 5 on target. In terms of the passing, Paulson and Birnbaum were the most common between each other. So right back to centre back shows you how we were in this game. I think I said defensive. That's how it seemed to be. Our average position. We had players an hour and a half more than the crew, which not great being the home side. If I'm going to be honest, I think as the home side, we should never be the more defensive. Even against one of the better attacking teams, we should be the other way around, really. And then our favourite start of the expected goals, it was 0.7 to 1.4. So, yeah, again, just one of those things. Their penalty obviously boosted their XG because it's a penalty. That's going to happen. But other than that, I would say it was a properly even match. We just need to get someone to put the ball in the back of the net. Like I said, be patient with it, get that first goal, and then we can build it from there, really. That's my take on it. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. Let me know. I'm happy to talk through it and our differences. So that's kind of my little sort of breakdown from last weekend's game. I also did the Instagram lives for halftime and full time. I'm going to keep that going this weekend for the game against Montreal. I'm enjoying doing that. It's great to see people coming in and joining the live, especially a couple of players as well over the recent weeks. When I had Sean Howe on, we had Taxi come and join in the live chat. That was fantastic. We've had Gasao Samake coming in and watching along as well. So feel free to come and join me on there. Come and find me at DCUK FC on Instagram and come in, join on the chat. If you want to join in live as well and you want to be on the Instagram live with me, then more than happy to. You can request to join in. That's how Sean suddenly appeared. He just requested to join. That was great. I'm happy to chat things through. I will be sat here in my lovely, lovely office. And this weekend, I'll even have the mini fridge. The mini fridge is coming. I'll be able to put my beers in the fridge, keep them cool, and I'll be able to not have to keep going back and forth towards the house during the game. I could stay here, and everything could be good. Everything could be cozy. Very happy. Can't wait for that. That arrives tomorrow. Yay! So, I don't know. As well, I'm feeling so much better. So much better now. It's great. Still a little bit coldy, but compared to how it was last week, where I could barely talk without my having to cough and things like that, and keep drinking loads of drink to keep going, and the week before where eyes are streaming, I can't see anything, I'm just so tired. It's such a wonderful feeling being well again. Love it. I also had my birthday at the weekend as well, so that was awesome. Spent the time back home up north with my family. Saw everyone. Good stuff. So just a shame we just didn't get the 3 points. But, can't have everything, can you? Anyway, I'm just gonna do the press conference now before I move into previewing this weekend's game, because there was a lot of good comments about player availability. So some players are going to be back this weekend. We've got timelines. Wayne also talks about the game against Columbus, so you can hear his thoughts on that. And also Donny Pines as well. We can hear about his thoughts on what the dressing room was like. So I'm just going to play that right now.
Andy back in training, which is a good sign. Where is he in his recovery, and what does it mean to have him back in the mix?
Yeah, Andy is he's back fit, so which is great for us because he's a really important player for us. So he's a possibility to feature on Saturday, whether from the start or the bench, to make that decision. But yeah, he'll be back on the squad. Nigel will be out for 8 to 12 weeks. He has a small fracture in his ankle.
That happened in training?
Yeah, during the training session.
You're already looking for some attacking depth. Does that accelerate that process with him out?
Yes and no, but we're already looking for attacking options and attacking players to come in anyway. So, but I think it makes it more crucial now that we do get someone in the attacking end of the pitch.
And where's Derek Williams now?
Derek's still a couple of weeks away, so he'll be another two to 3 weeks. Brendan's, yeah, same, probably 2 to 3 weeks from joining in with the team in training. He'll obviously need some time to build up his fitness, and so he'll have 2 to 3 weeks probably training with the team before he becomes available for selection.
And how about Jerky?
Dex is fine, but he'll be back in the squad. He had it wasn't a huge cut, but he had a cut in between his 2 toes, so just the positioning of the cut made it awkward. But he's had the stitches out, and he'll be back available.
Hey Wayne, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good. You were just talking about we're talking about attacking. You had the same number of shots on target last week against Columbus, and that's numbers. Do you feel like you're getting the chances, and what nuances are you noticing that maybe you need to do to make those chances into goals?
Yeah, I think we're creating chances, and so that's why it's disappointing. Obviously, the result on Saturday was disappointing, but from a positive standpoint, we're creating chances, we're getting opportunities of goal, and actually against Columbus didn't really give that many opportunities up. They obviously got a penalty kick, which still I don't think was a penalty, and they scored an offside goal, which we've had confirmed and denied at the same time, if you can make sense of that, by the officials. So it's disappointing, but we have to just move forward.
Yeah, and then can you also talk about Lewis O'Brien, just his presence, what it meant as you integrate another new player? It was clear he knows what he's doing out there.
Yeah, I think he'll be a really good player for us. I was really pleased with him, his energy, and running off the ball, running with the ball, breaking play up at times. So I think that's his first game since October. So I was pleased he got through the 90 minutes, and that'll certainly benefit him for the next few weeks.
By the way, that penalty happened right in front of us, right in line, and it's still driving me crazy because there's no way, but I'm sorry.
Well, there was a few, actually, I spoke about it after the game, there was a few decisions. The one where the goalkeeper clotheslined Steve Birnbaum, which is reckless, which the officials told us in the summer, in pre-season, if a keeper comes out, they have to be clear they win the ball, or if they come out reckless, it's a penalty. The penalty given us against us, there's a slight contact from Russell, but as I said, the lad takes 2 steps, then goes down. I don't think that's a penalty. The one on Taxi Fontes where he nicks in front of the defender kicks him, and the second goal is offside. The striker's interfering with play. He blocks Greeny from getting out wide, and I've put all these forward to the officials, and they've said, yeah, it is possible the second one is offside. It is possible it's a foul on Taxi Fontes. The goalkeeper has to land somewhere. He lands right on in my player with his knees and his 2 fists in his body. So it's just really strange, and I really can't figure it out. I don't know what we need to do, whether we need some clarification, whether the officials need to come down and actually show us again the meeting we done in pre-season, because they're completely going the opposite way. So in my opinion, it needs to improve.
And Wayne, can you just talk about, given that sometimes a game is so much mental, and being able to be strong through it, and going back to your first game against Toronto, your team showed resilience to come back. What do you like about the attitude of this team, or what are you sensing from your players out there?
Yeah, we kept going. We kept going till the end, and at 2-0 in the 90th minute, I'm seeing Taxi Fontes chasing balls, and so I think we're a team who are building a really strong resilience, and we will keep pushing till the end in games, but we need to really reward ourselves, because we are playing some good stuff. We are competing in games. I thought, as you said, we've done a really good job in containing Columbus, who are a good team, give them very little really against us. So it's frustrating, but I think we'll get there. I think we will get there. I think we're showing some really good signs, and of course, I think we just need that win to give us confidence to build on.
And I saw on social media, it looked like you had some great family time in Washington. So that's got to help. And that'll probably lead to 3 points. There's nothing like getting out on the mall and having some sunshine.
Yeah, I was hoping to go and see Joe Biden and ask him if he can clear up some of these decisions for me.
Well played.
Steve has one more.
That's it from
Okay.
Zoom.
Well, along the lines of what Dave was asking, it's been a while since this team got a victory. Do you sense any dent in the confidence level or the camaraderie, given that it's been a while?
Confidence, certainly. I think that you get confidence from winning games. So I think you can feel that a little bit. So that's why we just need to get that win and get that confidence back to where we want it. But to be fair to the players, they're digging in there, they're trying to do the right things, and so it's strange because after a defeat, I look at myself, I look at decisions, starting lineup, substitutions I make, and you reflect on everything. But I thought we were, we done okay and deserved something out the game, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. So as I said, I think we will get there. It's frustrating start, but I'm seeing players trying to do the right things, and hopefully we can have a more consistent starting lineup as well over the next few weeks, and that'll certainly help us also.
What's the mood? What's the temperature of the team? It's been a while since you guys got a victory.
Yeah.
How does that impact the psychology?
Spirit's been really good. I think we're slowly getting in the right direction. The spirits are still high. I know, we're coming off, a tie and a loss, and we're trying to get into our winning ways again. But we're still trying to stay positive. The weather's getting better, so a lot more high spirits, a lot more better training sessions. So I feel like we're going in the right direction.
You're reuniting in a way with Hernán Losada.
Right.
What's that going to be like for you and for the guys in general after last year and the year before?
Yeah, it's gonna be probably bittersweet. It is what it is. That's the name of the game. You move on, you play, and you coach. Different teams. But we're gonna treat this like it's a regular game, and we have a lot of guys who played under him. But as much we're gonna try to play within ourselves and try to win this game as much as possible, and not worry about the the little intangibles like that. We're just gonna play our style and try to win the game as much as possible.
I know you said the spirit was high, and you played good football the last two games, and things have tightened up at the back, and that's a really difficult outfit to play with those little drag runs and the high line. And, but you did a great job.
Thank you.
But is there also a collective understanding of maybe a little bit more urgency in terms of the 3 points, especially on a team that you're United is better than Montreal. They're just a better team, just the film and what you watch, and we're unlucky and things like that. But how, in order to guarantee those 3 points, to put the players on that also as well as the good spirits?
I think what we have to do is keep our same mentality the last couple games and just play our style of football and be hard-nosed, be hard at the back, hard to, play against, and, take our chances as much as possible. I think in the last couple games we've had good opportunities, and, we could be up, early in the game, but we just got to take those with a grain of salt and make sure we convert our chances. And if we do that, it's going to be a whole different perspective of the game. And, then we got to, solidify the back line and be as tough to play against, and then we'll see out more games. But I feel like we just got to stay cohesive, stay positive, and communicate as much as possible from the back to the front, and let our attackers do their thing and hopefully convert chances.
Hey, Donovan, can you just talk about this team's potential on set pieces? Because does it feel like you're playing with a basketball team? Sometimes you got Donovan, you got yourself, Steven Birnbaum, Benteke. I mean, all these targets. It seemed like it'd be fun to work on set pieces, and you guys would have endless options.
I think you're right, Dave. You know, we have a lot of aerial threats. You know, for me personally, I mean, I'm playing within my role. So if I can drag two people with me, if I can be a decoy run and have Christian get a goal or have Steve get a goal, then I did my job. So at the end of the day, we should be converting as many chances as possible off set pieces and being ruthless on every set piece. We should be winning 90% of these. On every set piece, every corner, every free kick. So. But it's really fun every time we go up because we don't know sometimes who the ball's gonna drop to. But usually we should have first contact on every set piece. So hopefully we can make that this weekend, have that happen, and hopefully convert one off a set piece this weekend.
And you mentioned Christian. Just what we noticed, he works so hard, and we'll see him get back defending. What does that do to you when you see him putting in that work, or what kind of influence do you think he has on the team, or you?
He's a huge influence. I think he's a great leader, great person, great personality to have in the locker room. We see it firsthand, on the field, off the field. And, when he tracks back, he does the work, does the little things right, and we see it, and we want to make sure that us defenders have to do our job so we can make his job easier. And so that's, winning headers and bringing down the ball and just playing his style. So we see him working hard and winning all those balls and not getting mad. Most strikers usually get mad if, they can't get the ball and stuff like that, but you don't see it. So he's a very positive player and very has a lot of humility in his game. So it's very advantageous to have him on the team, and hopefully he can get more rewarded as the games go forward.
And you've grown so much. How do you feel yourself better? I mean, when you think about, boy, this is better now. What's going on with that?
And I think for me, it's just I love the game, I love this team, I love the organization. So I just want to compete as much as possible, and if I can help the team win and keep clean sheets, if that's my job, then I'll do my job because I love the game, and I just want to perform as best as possible and make myself better, make myself proud, and reach the goals that I want to get to, in the next coming years. So for me, it's just a personal thing, just showing that I can play at this level, and hopefully I can keep getting better, keep learning, and keep trying to help the team prevail.
I'm calling it right now. Donovan Pines on a header goal set piece this weekend.
Hey, that'd be awesome. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. It means a lot.
That was awesome. Just to end that little conference there with Dave, just go. It's going to happen. Set piece goal. If that happens, I will be over the flipping moon, to say the least. Because you look at Donny, he's actually done really well in the last couple of games that he's had to come in and play. The fact that Derek Williams has been out injured and still remains out for a few more weeks. And with Brendan Hines-Ike as well, but still a few weeks away returning to just even training. And when we're saying that, it's going to be a further few weeks from once he does return to training to actually him building his fitness back and actually being able to get onto the pitch. So, yeah, we're still a couple of centre-backs short at the moment due to injuries, but the fact that Donny Pines has actually played really well recently in the last couple of games is fantastic to see. So long may that continue and actually give Wayne a bit of a headache, really, because that's what you want as a manager. You want a selection headache when players are playing well. You don't want a selection headache due to injuries and things, but it's good. He's taken this opportunity and I'm happy. And if he's able to get a set piece goal, I've said it before, and I would do handstands. Whether I actually would do that or I'm able to do that, that's another question entirely. But if I could do it in this office, I'd give it a good go. I'll give it a good go. So, Donny, if you're listening, if you score, I will attempt to do a handstand in this office for you. So, there you go. Right. So, this weekend, we have Club de Foot Montreal or Club Foot de Montreal. I keep forgetting which way around it's meant to be, but so we got those guys this weekend. Hernán Losada, as Donny said, it's bittersweet. Choosing his words very, very wisely there. Very interesting that how he tried to play down that the fixture in terms of the fact that we're coming up against the former manager. But I think there will be a lot of angst, a lot of frustrations that will need to be taken out this weekend, and I would like to see us use that and actually take it to them. Montreal seem to be imploding at the moment, and then has not had exactly the greatest start at Montreal. The players seem to be unhappy, they're leaving. It kind of just shows how the man management side of things hasn't quite gone to plan. And I think their ownership has to take some of the blame on that one. And not just Hernan, but there's something there where he's been at DC, there's been issues, and now he's gone to Montreal, and the same thing seems to be happening again. So you've got to have a look at that somewhere along the lines. But anyway, this weekend, so Saturday, April 15th, 7:30 Eastern Time kickoff, which means it's a 12:30 in the morning kickoff for us Brits over here. It's on MLS Season Pass. So we got that. So if you haven't got MLS Season Pass and you want to watch the game this weekend, you're out of luck. But please do get it. I love having the MLS Season Pass. It's fantastic. The fact that I don't have to use VPNs, I don't have to do anything stupid to be able to watch the games. The only thing I do miss is not being able to listen to David Johnson, because iHeartRadio just doesn't work. I can't download the app. I can't VPN my way in. It's just, it's a shame. But being able to hear Dave in the press conferences and things, it's a little fix there. So I might just have to see if I can get him back on the show again, because each of the times he's been on, he's been an absolute blast. So there is that. Other availability, if you didn't hear the press conference and you tuned in live, nice to see Isaiah and Michael. Good to have you both in the live chat there. Nahar is back and traveling with the team, which is fantastic. Derek Williams remains out for a few more weeks. Roberta is out for at least 8 weeks, around 8 to 12 weeks, thanks to injury in his ankle that he picked up in training. And as I've just mentioned about Brendan Hines-Ike, he's still a few weeks away from returning to training. So probably around 6 weeks away before he's back in the squad and ready to play. This weekend, some things that I've pulled out from the MLS Soccer website. So Montreal won both fixtures last season, but they've never won 3 in a row against DC. So the odds are in our favor just from that. Montreal have also lost 5 of their opening 6 matches, equaling their worst points tally for this point of the season. It's good work from them. We've got 5 points in 7 matches. This is the 7th time that's happened in our history. And within those 7 occasions, we've actually made the playoffs 3 times on that. So the fact that it's a slow start doesn't mean that we won't make the playoffs. And that's what I do like in a way about MLS. You can have a really slow start, but then you come into form towards the end of the season and you can actually do stuff towards the end of the season. Montreal have been outscored 9-0 in their previous 2 games. They're the second side to have done this in MLS history. Previously, Orlando had done that as well, but Montreal have also done it. And Montreal's minus 13, yes, that's right, minus 13 goal difference is the worst after 6 matches in league history. So, yeah, they are very, very leaky and not very, very scory either. On the downside for us, however, we have lost 10 of our last 13 away matches and failed to score in 10 of those. So we really need to change things around there. Head-to-head wise, there's been 26 fixtures between the 2 sides in MLS regular season. We've won 8. There's been 8 draws, and Montreal have won 10 times overall. And their players, they've had they had a trade where I've got to remember this rightly now because I haven't got it on my screen. They gave away one of their Kamal Miller into Miami, picked up $1.3 million in GAM, received 2 players, but attackers. So they got rid of one of their key defenders and when they're already very leaky, and then picked up a couple of attackers, and they weren't particularly great ones. That's what I've been reading about them. So weird, very weird. But I'm not going to argue. If they're getting rid of their defenders, then fine. They currently only have one DP in Victor Wanyama, who's generally plays with a Zimmer frame because he's that old now. They do have a few under 22 initiative players. So they've got Sanusi Ibrahim, Mako Milievich, and Robert Thorkelson. And they've got one generation Adidas player in Mason Toy. So I'm just going to pull up the MLS Soccer website and look at the standings so we can get a little bit of a breakdown on there. So whilst I'm doing that, I'll just come through some of the comments on the chat. As I said, nothing short of 3 points will be happy for me, period. I mean, yeah, this weekend we need the 3 points. I mean, for a multitude of reasons. One, we need a win. But 2, we're up against a team who are down towards the bottom alongside us. But 3, it's Hernan and what he did to the team. We need to actually beat them. And Keenan, nice to see you in the chat again. It's been a while. How do you think DC will do in the Leagues Cup this summer? Obviously, we've got Montreal in the Leagues Cup as well. We've got Pumas as well. Interesting. Intrigued to see how this will go. I think we might do okay. We're not going to set the League Cup alight. Let's put it that way. Leagues Cup. League Cup is English. Leagues Cup alight. But I think we'll do okay. To me, this is the first time it's in this particular format. It's going to be, I think it's an exciting time for both Liga MX and MLS in this type of competition. If it works, I know we've got the CONCACAF Champions League, but I'd like to see it expand even further as well. And maybe basically take over the CONCACAF Champions League, or make it into kind of like the Europa League, so the middle tier of continental competition. It'd be great. I think it's a good start. The way they've done it, it's all on MLS Season Pass as well, which is brilliant. So I get to watch it. It fills the gap in the summer. Well, I can't argue with it. I like the cup. I think it's going to be good. I was skeptical when the tournament was first announced a few years ago. Thinking, why are we doing this? But actually, as time's gone on and they've developed the format and how it's going to be played, I think it's starting to look like a really good type of competition. So the standings for Montreal, they've got 3 points so far this season out of 6 games, and that is just with the 1 win. They've scored a grand total of 3 goals so far this season. 3 in 6 games. So they're scoring half a goal a game. And they've conceded 16, which gives them that minus 13 goal difference. Their win came at home, which they've only played 1 home game so far this season. That's really weird. I wonder why that is. I never even thought about that. So they've played 5 away games and only 1 home game. I know MLS is weird for their fixtures, but that is bizarre. I'm not aware they're having any stadium work or anything like that, are they? Or they've not had any work done there. Let's just have a quick look. So, yeah, so they're away to Miami to start the season off with, then away to Austin, then away to Nashville, then at home to Philadelphia, which they surprisingly won that one. That was That was end of the game, the victory. Then they're away to Vancouver, and then away to New England Revolution. So, interesting. It'd be weird to see how this one goes then. Never even thought about that. Just going back to comments, Isaiah is just saying he's not joking. Unless you put lol in there or anything, I always take it quite seriously. Except anything short of a win, and it must be a complete mashing. Oh, okay, yeah. Wonder how much he's finding players for not making up the weight there. Yeah, it's making up the weight. It's interesting. I think that's some of the reason why some of their players are not very happy at the moment is the levels of intensity, I think, is probably how I can phrase it. So, be interesting to see how that goes down, and interesting to see how many handshakes for Hernán he gets from the players. I feel like this is going to be quite a bit of a rivalry coming up for this fixture. So, Keenan, I know you miss a lot of the lives, but I appreciate that. Appreciate tuning into the YouTube's afterwards. So I know you're a big fan, and I do appreciate that. And I appreciate everyone who tunes in as well, whether that's through listening or whether that's watching as well. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast, whether you're listening to it or whether you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video. If you're listening to it, or even if you don't listen to the podcast, but you've got Apple Podcast, just go and leave a review on there. Give it whatever rating, 5 stars, be great, and leave a little review, just to help bump it up the listings, bump it up the algorithms, all that jazz, and let's get the podcast and everything to a wider audience so we can bring more fans and new fans to the club. I know the soccer's not great at the moment, but there is signs there that we are moving in the right direction, and we're going to get goals. And now my throat's starting to tingle a little bit. So I do apologize if I suddenly start pausing quite a lot and I'm drinking. So, let's move on to some predictions for this weekend. So I know, obviously, Zaya, Keenan, you are listening in and watching in. What are your predictions for this weekend? For myself, just based on the fact that they've only scored 3 goals, and all of those 3 goals were at home as well. They've conceded a lot of goals. They're way out of form. They're incredibly leaky. Means we do create a lot of chances anyway, and that's against some of the better sides in the league. This is the opportunity for us this weekend to really start firing on all cylinders, and I'm excited about that prospect and the fact that it's Hernán Losada, who, granted, he came on the podcast. He took the time out, especially the fact that he took the time out just after he arrived in the USA. He was still in quarantine because it was the COVID times when all that was happening, and he spent a good hour with me just chatting away, and I respect him for that. But that's as far as I think it kind of goes now. So I think I'm going to put it on the line this weekend. I think we're going to keep another clean sheet. I'm going to score 4 goals. So I'm going to go 4-0. I want us to be playing the 4-4-2, like we have done. I'm English. Wayne's English. It's all about the 4-4-2. So we've got to keep that going. If I was going to predict a lineup, I don't generally do this, but I'm going to do this. Miller in goal. Durkin's returning. So I'd probably see him at right back. Centre back pairing would be Birnbaum and Pines, I think. And then left back would be Jose. Then right midfield, I'm hoping will be Ruan. After the way he came on at the weekend, I don't think Nahar's going to be starting just because he's been out for a little while. So he just needs to build that in, build his fitness back up from that side of things. Or if he does start, then Rowan will be on the bench. But I would see them two interchanging. Or potentially Nahar would start at right back and Rowan in right midfield. That's an exciting prospect. Having both of them playing on the right-hand side, I think that could be very dangerous. Centre mid would be, I'm hoping, would be Knaus and O'Brien again. Because I think them two together looked great at the weekend, last weekend. Knaus was putting some great tackles, and I know he gave away the penalty, but it should never have been a penalty. His passing could have been better, but the fact that he was there, putting the heavy tackles in, winning the ball back, makes up for all that. O'Brien had a really good game. Very impressed by him. No surprise, really, considering he's played in the Premier League. He's young. He wants to do well. He wants to get back into the Premier League and play there. So he knows he needs to do well here to show that he can still do it over there. Because if he doesn't do so well over here, that's going to really hamper his chances of getting back into the Forest side. And then left would be Mateus Klick. And then up top would be Taxi and Benteke. I think that would be an ideal 11. It's still not quite our strongest 11 by far, but I think that would be the best that we could give. So Miller, Nahar, Birnbaum, Pines, Jose, Rowan, Knaus, O'Brien, Klick, Benteke, and Taxi up top. I think that's how I would go for it. Keenan, your prediction is praying for a 3-0, but more likely 3-2 win. Okay. I'm intrigued by the fact that you think it'll be a 3-2 win. That would mean that Montreal would almost double their goal tally for the season. So, be interesting. I don't think there'll be a lot of people predicting us getting beat this weekend. That's for sure. If we got beat, absolute disaster. If we draw, incredibly disappointing. Win is the expectation this weekend. That is for certain. Win is the expectation. If this is Football Manager 23, before every game you get the board expectations and the support expectations. This weekend, both sides would say win. So expecting for that. It's coming down to time for fan questions. So a few sent in before the podcast going live. First up was Richard Rolson, who is a DCUK member. He's asked, what are my thoughts on Miller? He's only got one clean sheet, but also he hasn't had any consistency in the defense in front of him. I kind of like Miller. I think he's been good. I think he's right. The fact that it's disappointing. He's only had one clean sheet, but he's not had that consistent defense in front of him. And the way things are, it's probably not going to be completely consistent until a couple of months away yet. So based on that, the fact that he's had a clean sheet is good. He's looks a little bit scary when he's doing the sweeper keeper role, but when he isn't, man, he is good. He can pull off a save. And he was really good when he was at LAFC. He did very well there. And we are seeing the reasons why he was very good out there. So, yeah, I'm pleased that we've managed to actually pick him up. He's doing better than I expected. Yeah, can't argue with it. I was expecting us to have actually been playing Alex Bono, but he's just not getting a look in at the moment. So I'm not disappointed by that. I think that's, again, it's a very good selection headache to have. But it's clear to see that Miller is definitely our number one keeper at the moment. Hope that answers your question, Richard. Next question that came in was from Victor over on Instagram. He's just asked a very simple question. Benteke, do we keep or do we sell and replace? I think the way that Wayne seems to want to play, I see the value in Benteke. I see a huge amount of value in him. You look at the way the players pass, especially from Miller to Benteke. Miller keeps finding Benteke, and that allows us to have that target man up top. That allows us to get the attack going quickly because the ball is already up there. That allows us to send the players forward. He's a danger on the set pieces. He brings multiple players away from other players. So if you heard the press conference there, you heard about Pines, about him being a decoy for Benteke. So the fact that we've got multiple giants in the box when it comes to set pieces, I think is an incredibly difficult thing for our opponents to defend against. And you see it in the matches that we've had already. And the multiple times that we're able to find Benteke or Birnbaum at the back post, it's great. Obviously, the comeback, and I know this, I can hear this in my head, is he's not scoring enough. He's not scoring enough. But again, I think the fact that we've not had the consistency in the side, the fact that Taxi's only recently come back, we're already starting to see some of that really good partnership work happening there. When you look at the game against Columbus, there was some really good play between the two of them. Taxi, the man who's chasing down the ball, he's pressing the defense. Benteke is there, he's bringing plays into him, he's winning the ball in the air, he's able to head it to one of the other players. You look at there was one that he heads it to Lewis O'Brien, who then was able to play it through. It's just little things like that where the pieces are starting to fall into place. Very soon, I will see that all clicking together, and we're going to suddenly start scoring goals. And then the confidence will start flowing, and things will get going. And then we'll start getting on the train. I know last year and the year before, we had the Kamara hype train. I want to have the hype train come back just for Benteke. Or the hype taxi. However we want to do it. But I want us to get back there. And I can see that happening. And I do see it happening this weekend. I can't wait. So yeah, so Victor, I would keep Benteke. Like I said, I see value in him, and I think he's actually quite a critical piece of the puzzle for our attacking play right now. Obviously, that might change, but yeah, right now I'm happy with how he's doing. Yes, he does need to score more goals. We shall see how that plans out. If he doesn't get to 15 goals minimum this season, I will see that as a bit of a failure, and I would expect it then to replace him at the end of the year. But you've got to give him the full season to do that. He's had part of a season last year. He's not had a consistent partner in attack as well. When that doesn't happen, you're not going to get a consistency out of him. So hopefully we'll start seeing some good stuff coming out of him very, very shortly. Last question that came through was from Angus. Angus, who's also a DCUK member. He said, how do you think the Benteke Victor Wanyama aerial matchup will go down? I think just Benteke is just going to be all over him. I know Wanyama's a pretty big guy, but we know how good Benteke is in the air. Benteke is what, 6'3" off the top of my head, 1.9 meters. Because Wikipedia does it in meters, and Victor Wanyama is 1.84. So Benteke is bigger, 87 kilos for Wanyama. Oh, Benteke is only 83. So that's interesting. But I do think he's just going to be all over me. Wanyama's only 31. I thought he was older than that. He comes across as a bit of an older player. Whether that's just the fact that he's just not got that much pace either. That might be it. Yeah, that actually does surprise me. Yeah. Oh well, there you go. You learn something new every day. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any contest, any competition in that side of things. So yeah, there you go. Oh, that's it. That wraps things up nicely. If you've made it to the end of the episode, thank you very much for listening in or watching if you're watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Leave a little review if you can. That's always helpful. And if you want to become a DCUK member, just head over to dcunitedkingdom.com/membership. Completely free to do so. It's great. We've got some great group of people in there. We do have a little chat over on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, just set yourself up an account just so you can get in. It's great. I love it. Some great banter. We have a good laugh. We have some good comments coming through, some good debates. There's no animosity whatsoever. So, and it doesn't matter where you're from, whether you are in the States, whether you're in the UK, whether you're abroad, Belgium, France, Brazil, Senegal, Japan, Korea, Australia, wherever you are, you're always welcome. And I love that on the jersey as well, the phrase that they've got about everyone being welcome. We're all united. That's a great mantra to live by. So, yeah, thank you for listening. That is the end of the episode. Like I said, if you want to tune into the Insta Live, head over onto Instagram, follow me. It's at DCUKFC. We'll do halftime and full-time chats as well. You're more than welcome to request to join as well. If you see me all by myself, or if you don't want to do that, hit the end of the chat, get the questions going and get your thoughts in there. But yeah, that's it. And all that leaves me with left to say is, until next time, Vamos United.
Swelling on record, off record deals. Tell them talk to Colin for the quote. On record, off record, I still want the act, not the ghost.